All right. There may be some eye gouging in Carolina on Sunday when the Browns and Myles Garrett go to take on Baker Mayfield. Will have to do this. That's the ultimate defense to the eye gouge, Peter. Carolina Panthers and Baker Mayfield.
You know, Mike, I've been thinking about this game. There's so many interesting games this weekend. Even the games that aren't that interesting on the surface have 4 or 5 storylines that are really fun. But one of the reasons why this one is so much fun, at least in my opinion, is that we really don't know how Mayfield's former teammates in Cleveland deep down feel about him. Do we? Most times you get, oh my God, I love Mayfield. I love Baker. It was so great having him as a teammate. And yeah, but I mean, have you really heard that? I mean, it's almost like, the Myles Garrett Baker Mayfield relationship is like one of these relationships in Hollywood that you're on, you're off. It's like Bennifer, you're on, you're off. You love the guy, you hate the guy, you're not sure about the guy. And it's like at some point, I think we're going to see some emotion on the field on behalf of the Browns. If the Browns do win this game, some real emotion about take that Baker Mayfield.
Myles Garrett said yesterday, according to Mary Kay Cabot, that there were some disagreements that we had, Garrett and Baker Mayfield, at a base level. I'm not mad at the guy or feeling any way toward it. I don't know how to reply to that, so I didn't. There was a text message he received from Baker Mayfield where Mayfield said, appreciated the time we got to spend together and getting to know each other and growing together. And that was the text from Mayfield, and Garrett had nothing to say about it. And look, one guy was the first overall pick in 2018. That was Mayfield. Garrett was the first overall pick in 2017. There was a time where Mayfield said publicly that Patrick Mahomes should have been the number 1 overall pick in 2017. No disrespect intended to Myles Garrett. And that's the kind of thing that a guy may possibly interpret as being disrespectful. I don't know. But there clearly was an issue there. We saw it last year when the Odell Beckham Jr. stuff happened. His dad posts the video of all the times OBJ was open and Baker Mayfield didn't throw it to him. There was never any groundswell of support from Baker Mayfield. All we ever heard was the players love OBJ. The players are behind OBJ. There was never a rally to the defense of Baker Mayfield, really throughout any of the time that the Browns jerked Mayfield around. They told him he's the guy. Then, well, you're only the guy if we can't get somebody better. And then they leaked the idea they want an adult in the room. And there was never any sense that his teammates were taking up for him. And now you've got Mayfield highly motivated, Peter, and you've got the Browns maybe quietly motivated. Makes for a great Week 1 game.
Well, the other part of this, Mike, is that, look, and you can't tell how the game is going to go. But if I were the Browns and I were on defense for the Browns, I would say, hey, listen, until we really know what we have on offense with Jacoby Brissett and with a receiving core that we're not really sure of right now, I mean, we're probably going to play a bunch of low-scoring games, particularly against a good defensive team like Carolina playing at home. So to me, if I am the Browns going into this game, I'm thinking our defense has to be the star of the show. And so for that reason, it's up to Myles Garrett to and his mates to basically try to win this game and to hold the fort in games that you think you probably should win, but you're not really sure because you have no idea right now. You can say all the nice things about Jacoby Brissett that you want, okay? But the fact is, if you look at his history, you really don't know what you're getting in Jacoby Brissett. You know the kind of guy he is. He's a great guy, and he's a good leader. You feel good about him as a person and everything, but, he's bounced around a lot for a reason, okay? And so right now, you better figure, if you're the Cleveland defense, we better keep this a low-scoring game.
Patriots open the season at the Dolphins. They are 2-7 in their last 9 trips to Miami, when every year they've been the better team. Now you could argue the Dolphins are the better team. The Patriots went Tuesday to South Florida to acclimate to the heat and humidity and maybe just try something different. It smacks of desperation. First game ever for Mike McDaniel as head coach of the Dolphins, Peter. And Tua Tagovailoa is going for his 4th win all time over Bill Belichick. That is rarefied air for any quarterback. Not many quarterbacks have beaten Bill Belichick 4 times. Tua can be the latest one to do it. I think Peyton Manning, and we were texting on the PFT chain yesterday, Warren Moon back in the 90s may have gotten the better of Belichick with the Browns 4 times. But Tua going for 4th win over Belichick and company at a time when, Peter, across the board, it just feels like the Dolphins are the better team right now.
Yeah, when you said a minute ago Miami might be the better team, I'm saying I don't think there's any might about it. And I'm not saying I don't, the Patriots could win this game. Belichick is good at making slog bowls out of games that they don't look like they've got a great shot. Okay, but to me, the beginning of Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, and Tua, that is a huge, huge edge in this game versus the weaponry that the Patriots have. And I think number 2 is, I don't think anybody really knows what to expect out of Mike McDaniel, as the head coach of this team. And he's going to be very imaginative and all that. And on the other hand, all you saw in the preseason, both in games and in practice, was the frustration of a New England offense being run by Joe Judge, Matt Patricia, Bill Belichick to some degree. And look, I'm not saying that the loss of Josh McDaniels is going to push this team to a 7-win season, but I do think it's going to be a significant factor.
Packers and Vikings open in Minnesota for the second time in 3 years. The Packers blew the Vikings off the field in 2020, thanks in part to the fact that no fans were in the building during the pandemic. This time, U.S. Bank Stadium will be a rockin', don't go a knockin'. Aaron Rodgers bringing in a new receiving core. The Vikings with a new coaching staff, but a lot of the same players. This one could be one of the more intriguing games of the weekend because I think the Vikings offense is going to be a lot better. The defense can't be much worse, and who knows what the Packers are going to have when it's time for Aaron Rodgers to throw the football, Peter.
I think what's going to be really interesting is when you watch the Green Bay Packers play football this year, you are going to see a lot of newness on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, I've been very vocal in the fact that, in my opinion, that I think Romeo Doubs is going to be very good as a rookie for this team. Maybe not Sunday, but eventually. And then you just really don't know right now what you've got, say, in Sammy Watkins. I think this game could be very big for Sammy Watkins because they need a veteran presence. As you look at Doubs, who I think long-term, he's got a really good chance to be good. But I think the one other factor in this game is I want you to watch, the use of the backs by Green Bay, because I think Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, that is going to be a 1-2 punch that you're going to see a lot of. And if you're Aaron Rodgers, I would not be surprised if there are more passes to backs in this game and early in this season than Rodgers is used to and, quite honestly, is comfortable with, because that, to me, is how they're going to be able to move the chains in a loud stadium in Minnesota Sunday.
It's a Week 1 Big 12 showdown in Arizona as the Chiefs take on the Cardinals. For the first time ever, Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray face each other in the NFL, and Cliff Kingsbury, who coached Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, now coaches against Mahomes for the first time. This one could be very interesting. The over-under is at 53.5. It's one of the highest, if not the single highest of the week. And this is the first test of the Tyreek Hill free Kansas City offense. Patrick Mahomes said this week, sorry, fantasy football managers, it's going to be a different guy every week who's getting the catches and the yards. Mahomes is going to get his numbers. He's just going to be distributing it, Peter, all over the place.
Mike, it's very easy for me to say this as a non-gambler because there's no ramifications. There's no, I don't care. But I just have 3 words for you in this game. Take the over. And as I look at this game and you try to figure it out, I think Andy Reid, who told me that after 10 years, he's got some juice now. And the reason he's got some juice, he didn't say it specifically, the reason he's got some juice is because he knows what everybody on the outside is saying. And everybody on the outside is saying that, that Tyreek Hill loss is going to be a huge loss. Well, Juju Smith-Schuster is as happy and motivated as he's ever been in his NFL career. And, you watch now Sky Moore, who's going to be a difference maker at some point, the rookie from Western Michigan. Watch a guy who you don't expect anything out of, Justin Watson, this year, who's going to be a factor in Kansas City. There's a reason why Patrick Mahomes, when I saw him in training camp, had a little bit of fatigue. It's mental fatigue. He is getting 4 new receivers ready to go. And I think you start to see the fruit of all that labor on Sunday in Arizona.
And Miles Simmons and I were talking about this yesterday. There has been a much greater effort by Patrick Mahomes to get his new receivers acclimated than there has been by Aaron Rodgers to get his new receivers acclimated. One of the reasons why I am less concerned about the Chiefs without Tyreek Hill than I am about the Packers without Devontae Adams. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.